while since I've done this. Hey, listen, in light of the recent news that PlayStation is going to take their games to Xbox with the Helldivers 2, right?
It's not my first.
At least to begin with, I would like to announce proudly that the PlayStation 5, okay, over there, see? The PlayStation 5 is going to be my last PlayStation console.
Oh no! Anyway.
Helldivers is a Sony first party game. Do we all agree?
Yep.
J-Dub, you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Craig, you agree?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay, cool.
If PlayStation is not willing to put their own first-party games on PS4, what the hell makes you think they're going to put Helldivers 2 on Xbox?
That one didn't age quite so well.
Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox, which was one of those leaks I definitely didn't believe.
With this Helldivers 2 rumor, where it's like, well, it's happening to you too, and I'm like, Helldivers 2 isn't going to Xbox. Helldivers 2 isn't going to Xbox.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Why would they do that?
Money.
And then that opens up this floodgate for us. They're probably like, no, we don't need to do that.
Is this your game? Huh?
This will be my last console. Listen, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how much business sense this might make. I don't care about the time of this or that or oh my god, it's been a year. I don't give a f. What I give a f about is exclusivity.
Exclusivity is dead. That is not true. This is where we need to make sure the conversation remains nuanced. Okay, we can't project our own emotions onto it so strongly where this is what I want. If you want exclusives to be dead, I can understand that. But we need to have a fair and honest analysis that exclusivity in the games industry is not dead. But it is transforming.
Emotional damage!
Yeah, I mean, the argument that they're going third party is just bad faith and not accurate. It's not even worth debating. Like, it's not. If you want to say 2 + 2 = 5, I mean, go ahead. You can think something that isn't true if it makes you feel better.
But now the games that PlayStation is going to be making are going to have to run on the Xbox Series S. That is a downgrade of epic proportions. And you know what? Forget about the fact that this is live service. What makes you think that single player is sacred?
I don't give a if it's bird party, second party, my auntie birthday party. I don't give a multi-platinum 5, okay? That's what's going on. That's what's going on in the street. Sony is a third party. They've given up.
Single player will be put on Xbox too. Listen, it is what it is. This will be my last PlayStation. Thank you, Herman's Halls. Thank you, Hiroki Totoki. Thank you all for f***ing up the brand. Well done. F*** off.
Who the f*** is that guy? Who the f*** is that?
Ferchata! Never bet against this popsicle stick. I have told you time and time and time again. Exclusives are coming to an end, and that's only a good thing because they do not benefit the consumer. But no, we have brand loyalists out there in their own little cults, attaching their entire identity and personality to a specific console brand, whether it be Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo. But of the ones who are the most notorious for console warring 24/7, PlayStation guys easily take the cake, never playing their games, solely focusing on the competition and what they're doing, because reality is nobody needs a PS5 to play the games. This has been the generation that has ultimately defined Sony as a third-party publisher, who just so happens to sell a console. No different than what Microsoft is doing. I remember when I started this channel years ago, I blew up originally telling people exclusives are bad. One day they're all going to go to PC. One day they're all going to fade into obscurity. And that put a target on my back. Console fanboys have been relentlessly after me for many years, thinking I was stupid. And yet I'm always the one who gets the last laugh because I knew this would happen. And what's more, you deserve it. You and your pompous attitude, your console fanboy elitism, I am glad Sony publishing games on Xbox has wiped that stupid grin off your face.
Oh.
I should just kill myself.
Oh, that's... Come on.
I'm gonna do it.
If there's anything worse than greedy corporations, it's the fanboys that back every single business decision those corporations make that screw over other gamers, all in favor of keeping their brand in the #1 position. It's such a strange thing to obsess over. It never made sense to me. And now that we're doing away with exclusivity, their entire existence, their purpose, the reason they even want to continue breathing is being stripped away from them, and you've tuned into the right channel to bash all of it. But before we do so, I just want to say thank you so goddamn much for the support on this channel. Yesterday's video was a mass success with over 270,000 views.
Where's the money, Lebowski?
I've never once on this channel actually experienced that type of viewership in one day. And every single day I upload, we're breaking records. As we speak, we are pushing closer to 100K subs than I thought. Meaning that when I get my silver play button, I'm actually gonna have to do the face reveal with a sombrero in my poncho in front of Home Depot. I'm not looking forward to it, but I certainly know you are, so if you're down for that, then hit subscribe and let's begin with the Salt Magnum Opus.
A new dawn is upon us. Super Earth is expanding its operations and opening new enlistment centers. Xbox players, your opportunity to enlist is coming when Helldivers 2 deploys to Xbox Series X and S on August 26. Pre-order Standard Edition and the Super Citizen Edition of Helldivers today.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
And just like that, PlayStation is now officially a third-party publisher. Suck my dick. You had it coming. You deserve it after everything that these fanboys were protecting and defending. Sony repays all of that loyalty by porting their hottest multiplayer game to date on the Xbox platform. You see? Do you understand now why fanboying is an unfulfilling, unrewarding experience? Do you see how this company views you?
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
These guys were legitimately one click away from supporting the idea of PlayStation making an OnlyFans page where they undress the console. That's how obsessive they are with the company. I mean, look at this loser who kissed his PS5. Now that we know what's happening, it adds a whole new meaning to this image, doesn't it? He was kissing his PS5 exclusives away. You almost gotta feel bad for these guys because just the day before they were all celebrating, taking a victory lap over 9,000 layoffs at Microsoft, and then 24 hours later they're hit with devastating news that's so bad it caused two notorious PlayStation fanboys, Jabari and Persona Speaks, to delete their Twitter accounts in order to avoid having to see all the negativity that's about to happen.
I don't like where this is going.
How embarrassing is it that two grown-ass men cannot handle the news that everybody wins and gets to play a game? Like, how pathetic do you have to be? How low is your status in life that this affects you to that degree? That is what you're going to ask yourself as we plunge further and further into this mental decay. And just like that, all the Xbox accounts who were gutted and heartbroken yesterday have moved on to celebrating Helldivers 2 coming to the system. You can't make this shit up.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
What? Nintendo guys want to get in on this now? Really? RGT85 being salty about Helldivers 2 going to Xbox was not on my bingo card. I thought this guy would be supportive of this decision, but he seems really spiteful about it. Holy shit. What an awful take. What does he want Xbox guys to do? Stop playing video games because 9,000 people got laid off like everybody else and every other industry does? Like, yes, it sucks that people lost their jobs, but if you expect them to not be excited to play Helldivers 2, you're out of your goddamn mind. What do you want them to do? Not buy the game and lead to more layoffs? I mean, we're talking about a guy who complained about everything related to the Switch 2, and yet he still went out and bought one. Hell, he was gonna buy one scalped if he had to. We're talking about a guy who supports a company locking game chat behind a paywall. He's less concerned with what the company does to him and more concerned about 9,000 people he doesn't even know. And this is not to defend Microsoft's layoffs or cancellations, but it's hilarious that he expects it to supersede the announcement of one of the biggest multiplayer games of last year making it over to Xbox. He doesn't want people to be excited. I don't know why. He really expects, this virtue signal of his to ruin everybody's enjoyment while he's sitting there with the most anti-consumer console in his hands. As far as I'm concerned, he's lost all right to complain about anything.
20 days ago, this is PlayStation's just 4 games moment.
Many investors are speculating that Microsoft is moving away from the console. If that's true, is that good or bad for PlayStation?
So we think that competition in the business is healthy and then pushes us to innovate. There are multiple participants who together drive the overall game industry. And while there are new engagement models being explored, we ultimately think this is a good thing. However, as I mentioned earlier, we are confident and committed on our current strategy. And there isn't an urgent need for us to pivot.
So that was a fucking lie.
Eat shit! That's what you get, you brave, loyal console warrior! This is indeed Sony's just 4 games moment, as we saw from that clip. And I'll tell you why. Because it's Nixxes who is porting this to Xbox. That's right, Nixxes, the studio Sony got together as a dedicated PC porting studio, is now porting to Xbox. As a matter of fact, if we go over to the Xbox store, we can see it is being published by Sony. Sony paid Nixxes, a studio they own, to port Helldivers 2, an IP they own. It doesn't get more third party than that. And all these guys want to say, well, it's games as a service, it's a live service game, it doesn't count. Sorry, but you don't get to change the rules of the game, as I am one free throw away from tying this game. This is indeed evidence that Sony is going to be utilizing Nixxes to start porting more games to Xbox. It's going to be far more than one game. This is the beginning. But let's take a step back for a moment, because the real salt doesn't just come from the initial reactions. The real salt comes from how confident and pompous PlayStation fanboys were a year ago, claiming Helldivers 2 would never see the light of day on Xbox, and that Xbox gamers should just buy a PS5, the console is dead, exclusivity is king, and will live forever. One of the most prominent voices that actually spread that propaganda was none other than Colin Moriarty. The Helldivers 2 to Xbox rumor begs a question. What could PlayStation possibly gain by selling in an ecosystem with cratering hardware sales and an audience that buys few games? Why throw a lifeline to a struggling competitor? Why create PR and marketing issues for low revenue? Looks like PlayStation certainly did care about third-place small player-based platform that supposedly buys no games. You won't accept once again you were wrong, but hey, it's alright. You do you, Colin.
Holy crap! I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
I seriously can't believe anybody listens to Colin Moriarty. That dude is a hardcore PlayStation shill. Now you know he's gonna have a hard time getting it up and performing for his wife tonight. I just want to say, I don't even know what made him tweet that a year ago. You'd have to be stupid to think 30 million is a small number to cater to. That is 30 million potential buyers, 30 million potential in-game transactions. How the hell did anybody ever take such a stupid, nonsensical, moronic business comment like that? At this point, PlayStation as a brand is bigger than just their console. It's proof that Colin's mentality, like a lot of PlayStation fanboys, is so out of date. And the fact that people actually pay him money to listen to that is insane. He's just there to reassure PlayStation guys that they're not losing exclusivity. That's all it is. But if you thought that aged bad, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you see Puerto Rock's tweets.
If PlayStation is not willing to put their own first-party games on PlayStation 4, what the hell makes you think they're going to put Helldivers 2 on Xbox?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
What a huge L to take.
They were so confident. These guys are insane. Does anything these guys say age well?
Nice. No different than Death Stranding on Xbox, though. Xbox fanboys out here thinking this is some type of a sign that PlayStation is third party. No, they're not.
This Tripster guy is insane. Nobody has been damage controlling this harder than him, but listen to his exact words, okay? Because I posted a tweet that said, exclusivity is over. And along comes Tripster to say,
nah, one game don't mean jack.
And here specifically, he highlights a bit of a Google search that says, no, Arrowhead Game Studios is not owned by Sony. So this is Tripster essentially saying it doesn't count. It's not first party. And yet in spite of that, I still pulled off a beautiful ratio on his ass with a classic diss you, where I pulled up an old tweet of his that said otherwise.
Lego isn't owned by Sony. Helldivers IP is fully owned by Sony. Try again, bud.
Friendo.
Fratanga! 1,000 PlayStation fanboys, 0. I have been right since the beginning of my channel. Oh, it feels so good. Vindication. Oh, beautiful Vindication. Helldivers 2 is Sony's intellectual property. They don't own Arrowhead, but they own Helldivers 2, and they own Nixxes. This is officially a first-party game being published by Sony, by a studio they own. It don't get more third-party than that. Read it and weep.
I don't think Helldivers 2 on Xbox signals a fundamental shift in PlayStation's broader publishing philosophy. Herman Hulse has noted that live service titles demand large, sustained player bases to succeed. If Helldivers 2 performs well on Xbox, it could encourage Sony to bring additional live service games to Xbox.
Whoa, wow, really? Is that the narrative we're going with now? Sony, who was once known for rather having a game stay exclusive and die on their platform than port it elsewhere and make money, porting their most successful game so far to the Xbox platform is not a shift in strategy? Are you kidding me? This is full-blown third-party publishing. Sony is publishing their hottest IP on their competitor's platform with their own money out of their own free will. What do you call that? Because when Microsoft started doing it, we knew exactly what it meant. If Sony is doing it, we're supposed to consider that an exception? We know exactly what it means.
Absolutely disgusting. PlayStation just threw away a lot of their value in order to have short-term gain. You should be ashamed.
Yes, Sony should be totally ashamed that they're about to make a bunch of money off their own competitor's console. Yes, how stupid of them. The hell is this post? Do these guys think business-wise ever? Of course not. Their entire philosophy is all built around this idea that their console brand is the right one and all the other ones are wrong. And because everybody picked the wrong platform, everybody else must suffer and PlayStation must do well. Because they're delusional. If they don't get their PlayStation utopia, they turn on Sony. Because this is the same guy that I played at the very beginning who gave that heartfelt rant. That's him. There is nothing disgusting about all gamers getting a chance to play this title. I'm hoping Switch users get it next just to piss you off even more. And hopefully get jackasses like you to quit gaming altogether because we don't need you. We don't need this attitude. PlayStation are run by a bunch of idiots. I love it. I love it. I love it. Sony is the magnum opus. They're geniuses. Best in the industry. Port one game. Idiots. Morons. They don't know what they're doing. Sure. Okay, yeah. Pretty sure $1 billion Sony at the head of the entire industry at #1 are idiots and they don't know what they're doing. While this PlayStation diehard Twitter user knows exactly what they should be doing. Sure. All right. I'd hate to end a video as soon as it started getting good, but there is so much salt contained within this announcement, and I put up a poll asking if you guys want a part 2, so we will continue this all in another salt batch. If you liked what you saw, then you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and like and comment and share, because I'll be hitting your notifications with even more delightful, copious magnumous. That being said, I'll see you then.
Fritongo sucks ass.